I don't know if it's okay or not. What I'm gonna do is only read about why my hands are very dirty. About child and adolescent, just like that. But I will just check my video first if I can hear myself, because if I cannot hear then it will be useless. Wait a moment. Okay. I'm seeing my video now, but I don't know if I can hear this. It's raining. I'm sideways. Sideways, sideways. I'm sideways. Sideways, it's very noisy because it's raining. It's very noisy because it's raining. It's more noisy. It's more noisy. When it's raining, I should not do live, but I will just try. When it's raining, I should not do live, but I will just try. It's very noisy. Child and adolescent growth, quantitative changes in size, weight, number, and etc. Development, qualitative changes in quality. Growth is observable while development cannot be measured. Growth changes that take place in particular aspects of the body and behavior. Development describes the changes in the organism as a whole. Growth continues throughout life but stops with the attainment of maturity, while development continues process from womb to tomb. Factors influencing growth and development. Maturation or nature, the natural growth resulting from heredity. Environmental influences, nurture, in and through which the growing takes place. Then development follows an orderly sequence which is predictable, like how many months the baby is, just like that. Then cephalocaudal trend, observable from conception to 5 months, when the head grows more than the body. It also applies in the first months after birth, when infants learn to use their upper limbs before their lower limbs. Muna ang cephalocaudal trend. Cephalocaudal trend gihapon observable from okay, it's double. Then Next, cephalocodal patterns of physical development. One cephalocodal pattern, a growth pattern that begins with the head and upper body parts and then proceeds downward to the rest of the body. During infancy, the greatest growth always occurs at the top. Newborn, then 2 years, then 6 years age, the figure already changes, then 12 years to 25 years, decreasing proportions. Cephalocodal trend observable from conception to 5 months. Then proximodistal pattern under physical development. Proximodistal pattern, the growth pattern which states that development proceeds from the center of the body outward. The muscular control of the trunk and arms comes earlier as compared to the hands and finger. Proximodistal trend. Yes, balik. Ang patterns of physical development kay proximodistal pattern of cephalocodal pattern. Then, the rate of development is likely to vary among individuals. It is affected by the interactions and heredity and environment. Development involves change. Children undergo physical, emotional, and mental changes. Then early development is more critical than later development. It is at this stage of development where individuals develop the foundations for social relatedness, emotional well-being, and personal adjustments. Development is the product of maturation or nature and learning nurture. Although people are genetically endowed with certain characteristics, learning allows individuals to develop these innate potentialities. Principle of interrelated development. This states that the three types of developments that take place in an individual are social, mental, and emotional. However, these three are interrelated and one doesn't exist without the other. There are social expectations for every developmental period which are often referred to as developmental tasks. At each point in the individual's development, each one is expected to fulfill certain social expectations. Principle of development. First, development follows an orderly sequence which is predictable. Second, the rate of development is unique in each individual. Third, development involves change. Fourth, early development is more critical than later development. Principles of development still. Number 5, development is the product of maturation and learning. 6, related principle of interrelated development. 7, there are social expectations for every development period, which are often referred to as developmental tasks. Domains of development. Physical development. Domains of development by physical development, gross motor development, large muscles, then small muscles. Ang fine motor development kay small muscles. Ang gross motor development kay large muscles. Social or emotional development. Development of self-concept and self-esteem as well as the ability to express feelings and form relationships with other people. Language development, understanding or comprehending receptive language and being able to communicate using language or expressive language. Cognitive development, kaya thinking processes, language, and cognitive development are closely linked. Developmental Task by Robert Hurst. A task that arises at a certain period in our life, the successful achievement which leads to happiness and success with later tasks, while failure leads to unhappiness, social disapproval, and difficulty with later tasks. Prenatal stage, this is the stage when heredity, endowments, and sex are fixed and all body features, both external and internal, are developed. 8 periods of prenatal stage. Germinal period. Prenatal development takes place in the first 2 weeks after conception. Embryonic period. It includes the creation of the zygote, continued cell division, and the attachment of the zygote to the uterine wall. Ang embryonic period of fetal period na siya. It includes the creation of the zygote, continued cell division, and the attachment of the zygote to the uterine wall. 3 periods of prenatal stage kay germinal period. Prenatal development occurs 2 to 8 weeks after conception. Ang germinal period o embryonic period na siya. Then fetal period kay the zygote will become embryo. Embryo. Nota siya ang 8 periods of prenatal stage. Una kay germinal period, then embryonic period, fetal period, then germinal period na po siya, then embryonic period, fetal period. Ang kuan kay germinal period can last from 2 months after conception until 9 months when the infant is born. Embryonic period, dramatic course and organ systems mature to the point at which life can be sustained outside of the womb. O apel to ang fetal period. Then infancy stage suggests extreme helplessness. Subdivisions of infancy, period of partunate from the time the fetal body has emerged from the mother's body and lasts until the umbilical cord has been cut and tied. Period of neonate, from the cutting and tying of the umbilical cord to the end of second week of the postnatal life. Reflexes. Sucking reflex. Initiated when something touches the roof of an infant's mouth, muna siya ang sucking reflex. Gripping reflex, kay babies will grasp anything that is placed in their palm. Third, rooting reflex. Most evident when an infant's cheek is stroked, the baby responds by turning his or her head in the direction of the touch and opening their mouth for feeding. 4. Curling reflex. When the inner sole of a baby's foot is stroked, the infant responds by curling his or her toes. Then 5. Moral reflex. Infants will respond to sudden sounds or movements by throwing their arms and legs out and throwing their heads back. 6. Gallant reflex. Shown when an infant's middle or lower back is stroked next to the spinal cord. The baby will respond by curving his or her body toward the side which is being stroked. Mo to ang gallant reflex. Babyhood stage, characterized by decreasing dependency for the reason that this is the time when babies achieve enough baby control to become independent. Crying, cooing, babbling, gesturing, and emotional expressions are examples of pre-speech forms of communication. Early childhood stage, the preschooler years, years before formal schooling begins. Pre-gang, exploratory, and questioning age when language and elementary reasoning are acquired and initial socialization is experienced. Developmental tasks for infancy and early childhood. Learning to walk, learning to crawl, learning to take solid food, learning to talk, learning to control the elimination of body waste, learning sex differences and sexual modesty, getting ready to read, forming concepts and learning language to describe social and physical reality. Middle and late childhood stage 5, the fundamental skills of reading, writing, and arithmetic are mastered. Achievement becomes a more central theme of the child's growth and self-control increases. Developmental tasks for middle childhood. Learning physical skills necessary for ordinary games, learning to get along with age mates, building wholesome attitudes toward oneself as growing organism, learning an appropriate masculine or feminine social role, developing concepts necessary for everyday living, developing conscience, morality, and a scale of values, achieving personal independence, developing attitudes towards social groups and institutions, adolescence, transition age from childhood to adulthood. Thought is more logical, abstract, and idealistic. More time spent outside of the family. Developmental tasks for adolescents, achieving new and more mature relations with age mates of both sexes, achieving a masculine or feminine social role, accepting one's physique and using the body effectively, achieving emotional independence of parents and other adults, preparing for marriage and family life, preparing for an economic career, acquiring a set of values and an ethical system as a guide to behavior, desiring and achieving socially responsible behavior. Early adulthood, age of adjustment to new roles such as spouse, parent, and breadwinner. It is a time of establishing personal and economic independence, career development, selecting a mate, learning to live with someone in intimate way, starting a family and rearing children. Developmental tasks for early adulthood, selecting a mate, learning to live with a partner, starting family, rearing children, managing home, getting started in occupation, taking on civic responsibility, finding a congenial social group. Middle adulthood transition age when adjustments to initial physical and mental decline are experienced. Middle adulthood, a time of expanding personal and social involvement and responsibility, of assisting the next generation in becoming competent and mature individuals, and of reaching and maintaining satisfaction in career. Developmental task of middle adulthood, assisting teenage children to become responsible and happy adults. Achieving adult social and civic responsibility, reaching and maintaining satisfactory performance in one's occupational career, developing adult leisure time activities, relating oneself to one's spouse as a person, to accept and adjust to the physiological changes of middle age, adjusting to aging parents, late adulthood. It is a time for adjustment to decreasing strength and health, life review, retirement, and adjustment to new social roles. Late adulthood, retirement age when increasing rapid physical and mental decline are experienced. Developmental tasks for late adulthood, adjusting to decreasing physical strength and health, adjusting to retirement and reduced income, adjusting to death of a spouse, establishing an explicit affiliation with one's age group, adapting and developmental tasks for late adulthood, adjusting to decreasing physical strength and health, adjusting to retirement and reduced income, adjusting to death of a spouse, establishing an explicit affiliation with one's age group, adopting and adapting social roles in a flexible way, establishing satisfactory physical living arrangements. And that's all for child and adolescent. I will just read another again. And CBTS Volume 1, Part 1. The new performance appraisal system for teachers or past is competency based. The guide from the side, this implies the teachers act as facilitators for learning. 3. What theory states that identical instructional environments, methods, and resources may be effective for some learners and ineffective for others because of the differences in the learner's biological and development set of characteristics. The answer is learning style theory. In a school where academic performance is low, which of these alternative actions is less effective? The answer is putting up a functional educational management information system or EMS. Which of these school practices helps create a positive learning climate? The answer is encouraging everyone to participate in accomplishing school goals and objectives. Critical thinking in recent years has become a concern in education not only in the Philippines but also the world over. The cognitive, affective, and psychomotor components are put to focus. Which of the following competencies clearly distinguish the critical thinker? The answer is offers opinions and judgments. Inclusion is a basic right of every Filipino child as mandated in the Philippine Constitution RA 7277 or the Magna Carta for Disabled Persons and EFA 2015. What fundamental changes have to be operationalized in inclusive education? The answers: philosophy of education, relevant curriculum, mainstreaming, structural organization. What what? An individual education plan or IEP, individual education plan for a child with disability has to be prepared by the blank. The answer is regular and special education. The answer is regular and special educators, parents, and medical specialists if available. Ang kuan daw, individual education plan for a child with disability has to be prepared by the regular and special educators, parents, and medical specialists if available, which is the best reason for providing early intervention program to children with disabilities ages 0 to 3 years old. The answer is address developmental lag and prevent acquiring additional disabilities. Which of these is a teacher's acceptable view of change? The answer is change is an opportunity. Under RA 8190, a bona fide resident is a teacher who has resided in a particular barangay, municipality, or city or province where the school is located for a period of at least blank prior to appointment. The answer is 6 months. Who comprise the educational community? The answers: parents, students, teachers, school administrators. What which are the desired outcomes of child-friendly school system or CFSS? The answers: children who are healthy, free from exploitation and violence. Children who are aware of their rights and have opportunities to realize them. Children who protect themselves and develop their full potential. Opportunities to be creative because of his conviction that much learning results from the need to express. Natrohan ako that teacher gives his students opportunities to develop, to be creative because of his conviction that much learning results from the need to express creativity. On which theory is Teacher L's conviction anchored? The answer is humanist. The paaralan sa barangay takes its root in the establishment of one primary school in every community, in every municipality as mandated by the education of illiterate parents, which was perceived to be contrary to the democratized access to education. The answer is the giving of National College Entrance Examinations or NCEE. Religious and moral education are to the Spanish period as love for work and dignity of labor is or are to the Japanese period, and religious and moral education from Spanish daw, while the love for work and dignity is from Japanese period. If today we have an oversupply of teachers in the country, in the past we had a shortage. When did we have a shortage of teachers? In 1901, when a highly centralized public school was established, which is not characteristic of education during the pre-Spanish era, and formal. Which program is DepEd's vehicle in mobilizing support from the private and on government sectors to support programs based on DepEd's assistance packages. The answer is adapt a school program, which DepEd says do out of school youths and adults take to enable to enroll in college if they pass it. Accreditation equivalency test. The then National College Entrance Examination, or NCEE, was abolished because it was perceived to be against the democratization of access to education. The following are characteristics of a child-friendly school except exclusive. Can parents pass on their duty to educate their children to school, especially if they are illiterate? No, parents have the primary duty to educate their children. What could be an appropriate research approach to determine the factors that contribute to school effectiveness? The answer is establish benchmarks from a case study of a school that is consistently topping the national examinations. Accreditation programs are among the ways of ensuring quality in education. The most important criterion in accreditation is blank. The answer is assessment based on the school's philosophy, mission, vision, resources, and student achievement. Ay, ganun. Spartan education provided much attention and time for the art of war and the training of soldier citizens. Hence, the Spartan curricula consisted of military exercises in service for the state. Athenian education, on the other hand, stressed individual excellence, hence aimed to provide moral training and emphasize virtues to develop personality. Ang Spartan education provided much attention and time for the art and war and the training of soldier citizens, since the Spartan curricula consisted of military exercise and services of the state. Athenian education, on the other hand, stressed individual excellence, hence aimed to provide moral training and emphasize virtues to develop personality. The following are moves of the government to democratize access to education except one, which is the exception, in service training for teachers. Accrediting the madrasa is government move toward democratizing access to education, with the equitable access to basic education in mind, which does not belong to the group. The answer is establishment of state colleges, which is correct statement of service contracting scheme. The answer is it increases access to education. Which one works against the improvement of quality education? The answer is school working in isolation from community and industry. From the Household and School Matching Survey, or HSMS, Households and Social Matching Survey, or HSMS, conducted in 1982, it is found out that school factors have less influence on learning when compared to the community and home backgrounds variables, which is one implication of this finding. The school needs to strengthen its partnership with parents and community. Which one is an alternative learning delivery system where an itinerant teacher with the use of models teaches and small group of Apo yan, magbasa sa pulan. I-read aloud na to.
It increases access to education 33. Which one works against the improvement of quality education? School working in isolation from community and industry 34. From the Households and School Matching Survey, HSMS, conducted in 1982, it was found out that school factors have less influence on learning when compared to the community and home backgrounds variables. Which is one implication of this finding? The school needs to strengthen its partnership with parents and community. 35. Which one is an alternative learning delivery system where an itinerant teacher, with the use of modules, teaches a small group of pupils for a week, then moves to another community the next week? Mobile Teacher 36. The alternative learning delivery system used throughout the country has the following characteristics except they underscore. Stick to traditional schooling 37. A student passes a book report, poorly written but ornately presented in a folder to make up for the poor quality of the book report content. Which practice does this point to? Forma over substance 38. Which refers to the trait of practicing conflicting values in different venues and with different social groups? Split personality 39. After having been humiliated by teacher A, student B evaluates that teacher very poorly despite teacher A's good teaching performance. Which trait is illustrated by student B's behavior? Personalism. Student C says Bahala Na and braves the storm for a test. In this situation, which is expressed by the student's Bahala Na? Willingness to take risks 41. A father used to tell her daughter, "You are a woman. You are meant for the home and so for you. Going to school is not necessary." Is the father correct? No, there is such a thing as gender equality in education. 42. It is said that some private schools employ teachers without license. Is that in accordance with the Philippines Teachers Professionalization Act? No, the license as a requirement for teaching applies to teachers in both public and private schools. 43. Back to Basics movement was launched by the then DECS, now DepEd, not only to upgrade pupil achievement but also to emphasize the importance of the 3 rupees. 44. Study is indeed hard work essentialism. 45. Strike the iron while it's hot. Which philosophy governs your action? Progressivism 46. Specialization is knowing more and more about less and less. Then it is better to be generalist, claims teacher Lonnie. On which philosophy does teacher Lonnie lean? Perennialism 47. Which a case of child abuse is filled by parents, what law is applied? Republic Act 76-1048. Upon prior consent of parents and school authorities, religion may be taught in Philippine schools within regular class hours 49. That the quality of Philippine education is declining was the result of a study by EDCOM which recommended to teachers and teaching. Professionalize 50. The Early Childhood Care and Development Act provides for the promotion of the rights of children for survival and development. Which of the following statements is not among its objectives? Assist the LGUs in their endeavor to prepare the child for adulthood 51. The basic policy of the education of 1982 or Batas Pambansa BLG 232 is to establish and maintain a complete, adequate and integrated system of education relevant to the goals of national development. Which of the following is not covered by this act? Sunday schools 52. Study is indeed hard work essentialism. 53. Strike the iron while it is hot. Which philosophy governs your actions? Progressivism 54. Jerome Bruner's idea that interest in the material being learned is the best stimulus for learning. This is in support of our efforts to develop our students motivation. Intrinsic 55. According to the 1987 Constitution, when should religion be taught to children in public elementary and high schools? Within the regular class hour. Part 2. 1. The lesson is on the pros and cons of capital punishment. Mr. Milan wants to do high level of thinking and to develop a view of capital punishment from different perspectives. Which technique will be most appropriate? Panel discussion. 2. To teach the democratic process to the pupils. Bayag Elementary School decided that the election of class officers shall be patterned after the local election. There were qualifications set for candidates, limited period for campaign and rules for posting campaign materials, etc. Which of the following did the school use? Simulation 3. Here is a test item. From the data presented in the table, form generalizations that are supported by the data. Under what type of question does this item fall? Synthesis 4. The improvement of basic education should be the top priority of the Philippine government. Defend or refuse this position. Under what type of question does this item fall? Evaluative 5. Teacher Ben, an experienced teacher, does daily review of past lesson. Why? To provide his pupils with a sense of wholeness and continuity. 6. Teacher Alvin wants to teach the class the rules in playing basketball. Which method is most appropriate? Direct instruction. 7. You want to teach concepts, patterns, and abstractions. Which method is most appropriate? Indirect instruction. 8. Direct instruction is for facts, rules, and actions, as indirect instruction is for ____. Concepts, patterns, and abstractions. 9. You want to have a small group discussion in your class. Which topics will be best for group discussion? Those topics _____. Where a high degree of consensus among students does not yet exist. 10. Which holds true of competency-based instruction? Critteren referenced. 11. You combined several subject areas in order to focus on a concept for interdisciplinary teaching. Which strategy did you use? Thematic instruction. 12. Teacher Beta is the teacher of English as a second language. She uses vocabulary cards, fill-in-the-blank sentences, dialogues, dictation, and writing exercises in teaching a lesson about grocery shopping. Based on this information, which of the following is a valid conclusion? The teacher is teaching in a variety of ways because not all students learn in the same manner. 13. Teacher Marion developed a card game in which pupils matched different fractions. The shapes contained within each card were the same while the number of parts shaded as different. Which concept/process was taught by this activity? Equivalent fractions. 14. Teacher Elena discussed how electricity flows through wires and what generates the electric charge. Then she gave the wires, bulbs, switches, and dry cells and told the class to create a circuit that will increase the brightness of each bulb. Which one best describes the approach used? It helps students apply scientific method. 15. Having a mock presidential election, complete with debates, discussion of issues, and voting, teaches students ____. The decision-making process. 16. What should a teacher do for students in his/her who are not on an expected grade level? Give them materials on their level and let them work at a pace that is reasonable for them, trying to bring them up to a grade level. 17. Teacher Bong likes to concretize the abstract concept of an atom. He came up with a concrete presentation of the atom by using wires and plastic balls. How would you classify Teacher Bang's visual aid? Model 18. Teacher Rodell likes to show how the launching of spaceships takes place. Of the following materials available, which is most fit? Mock-up 19. In your attempt to develop creative thinking skills, you want to test fluency of ideas. Which activity will be most appropriate? List animals covered with hair in 1 minute. 20. The incorporation of the content materials in language lessons is called underscore 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 underscore. Content-based instruction 21. Which is in accordance with the withiness principle of classroom management of Kunin. Teacher is fully aware of what is happening in Hai's classroom. 22. Which practice helps the teacher maximize time for instruction? Minimize discipline time. 23. A sound advice for classroom managers is nip the problem in the bud. What does this mean? Be proactive in management approach. 24. Which seating arrangement has been proven to be effective?